Thanks for coming out here to see me off. You were indeed a very good friend to me. Nobody likes to admit their own mistakes due to the folly of their youth. I'm going to teach you that a mobile suit has its limits, my friend. May the glory of victory be yours. That's impossible. The Federation mobile suit is a monster. Ah! And may the glory of victory be yours. Mobile suit capabilities don't decide the outcome of battle. Let's test the reaction time of your brand new mobile suit. What are you doing?
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hope everybody is doing phenomenal. Hey, huge round of applause and horns for my guy, EDG. Dude, thank you so much for those gifted subs, dude. Very, very much. Thank you so much, dude. Huge fan. Everybody give it a round of applause to my guy EDG. RMG 1A Rum Live Alerts. I guess I'll give you a shout out, you greedy bastard, stealing gifted subs like that. Who else is in here? The Iron Enforcer. What up, what up, what up? Good to see you in the Chizzy chat. And of course, my lady love, Mrs. Pudge, hanging out in the chat. Love to see it, babe. How are you? How are you? How's everybody? Wrong keyboard. Guys, thank you so much for being in here. Thanks for hanging out. Hope everybody is doing phenomenal today. So happy to have you back. I am too, man. I'm happy to be back. My normal content consumption is back on track now. Thanks, dude. That means a lot. It really does, guys. It means a whole lot to me when you guys are a part of the behind the scenes, even for me. Checking in on me, making sure everything's good, and seeing me back. I really, really do appreciate every bit of it, guys, more than you'll ever know. More than you'll ever know. All right, guys, so I have to wait my dad to help me to help me use Rumble Premium. Okay. Nice. Love that you got that gifted sub. All right. My hair. I didn't shower today. I'm sorry. My money comes in, fingers crossed. Hell yeah, dude. That's very exciting. Very exciting to be getting in your money from Rumble. Or for that, getting everything started. Huge fan. Always advocate of people starting on Rumble, especially because it's just so easy, It's super duper easy. It's very simple to get set up, and the community is here. You've seen it in the chat already that EDG is jumping in and gifting subs like a crazy person does to somebody like me who I don't really even do anything, right? I sit here and I look stupid and I'm terrible at video games and that kind of stuff. I talk to people. That's about it. That's probably the most interesting thing that I do is I talk to people that are more interesting than me. So that's really what it's all about. Okay. That's weird that's we'll refresh that. Okay, maybe we won't. All right. So it decided to. Cool beans. All right. Before we get into too many different things, guys, I do have a message from the unofficial sponsor of the show, and I wanted to show you guys this real quick right before we get started.
Social media was built for connection until it stopped serving people. That changes with Pickaxe. No algorithms deciding your reach, no manipulation behind the scenes. You choose what gets seen because you are the algorithm. Publish articles, post videos through Rumble, monetize your content without fighting the system. Made for humans, not algorithms. Download Pickaxe on the iOS App Store or Google Play, or join us at pickaxe.com.
Pickaxe.com, baby. Pickaxe.com. Guys, if you're not already signed up for Pickaxe.com, then you really are missing out, I have to say. It's not the place you don't want to be. It's not the place you want to miss out being on. That sounds better. You guys can see here the platform very similar to what you would see on, maybe Facebook or more specifically Twitter. And this is like it said in the ad, this is an organic, algorithm-less, because you are the algorithm, platform that gives genuine exposure to you as a creator. That's the most important thing that I think that we are trying to push. Yes, we're free speech. Yes, we're not woke. Yes, we're all of the buzz terms and gay things. Sure. But most of all, we are the only platform of our kind that is genuinely investing in creators, trying to monetize you as many ways as possible. And we don't care where you grow, just that you grow. And the value of being on this platform is that you reach your audience. But if your audience consumes your content somewhere else, like Rumble or Instagram or Own or something like that, Blaze Stream, any of those places, then we're going to help you be successful there as well. That's one of the things that I love most about this platform. That and it's this combination between, like I said, Twitter, but also Substack. You can write these long form articles that I get great exposure on compared to what I see on other platforms that I've tried to blog on before, right? So, these, not all of these have great views for, like, I don't know, a huge person, but the ratio of these article views to my follower count, especially at the time of some of these, 77 on that one. I had less than 100 followers back then. The reach is there, and the more I engage, the more exposure that I get on the platform. It's freedom of reach, and it's freedom of speech and freedom of reach. That's the thing that that Twitter is not all about. Twitter is all about freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. So they that's not their priority, to be exposing everyone, or your content rather, to as many people as possible. No, they want you to pay for that reach, and that's just not how we roll at Pickaxe. Just not the way we roll at all. So freedom of reach freedom of speech and freedom of reach. One other thing I do want to talk about, I had it up here, is the Rumbot Studio. This is what I have been using since I've been back, pretty much. I think the first 2 days I did not, but every time I have been streaming since when? Oh my gosh, since I came back, except for Monday, maybe Tuesday. I think Tuesday I also used it of last week. I've been back. I've been using this platform to stream with, and it's seamless, guys. I don't have to have these windows. I have this window open because that's where that's the green room. But then I don't need this open anymore because I already showed you guys Pickaxe. I don't need a bunch of tabs open in here. I have my social media. All of my social media is right here. YouTube, Kick, Twitch, Pickaxe is even integrated into this platform. Twitter, it's Twitter. My Instagram, all of it, guys. It is all right here. I'm not logged in. But Discord and Telegram too. I don't want you to see all my Telegram stuff. Sometimes it kicks me out. And that's a bug that they're working on. So if you are not already signed up for your at the Rumbot Hub, then you're missing out on the opportunity. Missing out on a big opportunity to be able to take advantage of this all-in-one platform for streamers and Vapin and GG and all of the other guys over there on the team, Ray and you know, in charge of like the marketing and stuff like that. Guys, they are killing themselves night and day to be able to make this available to you. All right, guys. So without a whole lot of further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into the interview here. I'm really excited to bring Aaron back on. We've had him on the show before, and you guys have seen Aaron from Red Balloon. You guys have seen Andrew, CEO and co-founder, big boss, big cheese, over there at Red Balloon. You guys have seen all of them over at Red Balloon. They've been on the show before. We've had Aaron on, and I'm really excited to be able to have him on once again. So guys, if you will, please give a round of applause in the chat for my guy Aaron Youngren. What is going on, man? How are you?
What's happening? What is happening?
Man, you're looking good, man. Looking good.
Oh, thank you.
This studio setup looks great.
Oh, thanks.
Are you have you started a podcast since the last time that we talked?
I've actually been recording a lot of videos, mainly trying to talk to people about the kind of the new workplace that we find ourselves all in, where AI is a thing, and how do I need to learn it? Do I not need to learn it? How do I navigate that? So I've been just trying to send videos out there into the world, helping people with that.
I love it, man. All right, so it's been a minute since we've had you on the show, so let's kind of walk through this as though, you know, nobody knows you and you've never been on the show before. So good to meet you, Aaron. The head of product at Red Balloon, according to your LinkedIn.
That's right.
And that's that right now is, from everything that I've observed, Red Balloon is like the premier meritocracy-based employment services platform, especially here in America right now. And that's something I think that we are desperate for in our current climate as a culture, and in the volatile climate of the workforce. So tell us all about it. Tell us who you are and what you kind of do over there.
Yeah. So I'll start with myself. So my first real job was at Amazon.com in Seattle, a company that was very meritocratic. Some would even say cutthroat, but I found it to be a great environment to have an adventure in. We were always behind. This is, very, very early years. Always behind, growing rapidly, usually couldn't or wouldn't hire more people to do the job. You kind of had to invent your way out of situations, right?
Yep.
And so what happened at the company is, if you did well and performed well, guess what? You were rewarded. So I went from, this lowly invoice entry job to leading a global innovation team in about 4 years. And won all kinds of awards, and it was one of the greatest things ever, right? Just work hard, try to think on behalf of your customers and the people in the company, and you can move forward. Well, fast forward to today, that basic premise that businesses are there to make money, and that you should try to help the business make money, and that's not actually trying to help the greedy, terrible corporate elites. That's actually just the reason businesses exist, right? We exist in order to find awesome things out in the market and offer them to people in such a way that they'll gladly give up their hard-earned wealth for it.
Yes.
So you're actually doing good. So Red Balloon started in kind of right in the middle of COVID panic, BLM riots. I was at a Fortune 100 company. I was working for GE Healthcare at the
Mm.
time. At almost all corporate one or Fortune 100 companies, you're kind of getting regular political dogma in that era
Yeah.
coming down from on high. And so there would be something like a police shooting, and then within a couple hours, we'd get an email. Obviously, this is another example of
Mm.
horrible police
Yeah.
brutality, racism, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
No one had the facts yet on any of these things.
Right.
And so, myself and a quiet number of my friends, um, we're just starting to really lose interest. You can only follow
Mm.
leaders that are doing that for so long.
Yeah.
And so I jumped ship to come out and join this crazy company, called Red Balloon.
Mhm.
And we have been trying to serve meritocratic businesses in their hiring practices ever since. It's a difficult thing to do in America because America is highly litigious.
Yep.
America right now, our corporate culture still likes to prioritize things like skin color over
Mhm.
actual accomplishments.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we want to help people figure out how to hire for what they actually want in a company, which is people that'll come in and accomplish big things.
Okay. Okay. So how do you convey that message to employers without being salesy?
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is probably one of the more fun aspects of my job since you and I think I took this on since you and I talked last.
Mhm.
So I have also become head of marketing here at Red Balloon.
Okay.
And we went in a little bit of a different direction that we were going before with our marketing. We decided that we were going to focus kind of solely on organic social and
Good
use
idea.
that as a platform to simply creatively tell the truth.
Mm.
And so when you're in a position where you actually have a perspective, you
Mhm.
have something you think should exist in the marketplace that isn't. For us, that's meritocratic workplaces.
Right.
It's like a superpower for marketing because
Mhm.
if the pain is really that bad, other people will feel it. And then all you really have to do is figure out how to say what nobody else will say
Right. Yeah.
and to do it in a way that's, I mean, you have to be kind of palatable for the market, but we just have like out in the marketing wing over in the other room there, we have just
Mhm.
10 things, 10 truths about hiring. And it's stupid things like
Right.
people are lazy at work sometimes,
Yeah.
but you can't say people are lazy at work anymore
Yep.
because that would imply judgment.
Right. Now you're a racist somehow.
Yeah, correct. So we just have taken this approach where we're trying to send out a couple messages a day that we're cracking jokes or we're
Yeah.
doing something through our social presence, and it's worked very well because
I bet.
people that are not excited about that kind of workplace are repelled, and they should be. And people that are come to us and break down our door and say, "How do we do business with you?"
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's been a lot of fun.
That's one of the things that I've always really appreciated about your guys' marketing is the satirical
Yeah.
aspect of it. You know,
It's so easy,
it's
right?
so easy, and
Yeah,
the biggest problem has been for years, and even before COVID, is that we can't make fun of these people. We can't make
right,
jokes about this certain group of people that they'll get their feelings hurt
right,
and they'll report us to HR, who is full of people who will get their
right,
feelings hurt, and then
right.
we'll go out of business somehow.
Yes.
That's just I'm glad America is healing.
Right. Well, and the reality is, as you well know, the opposite is true. Yeah, you're going to hurt some people's feelings. Guess
Mhm.
what? Their feelings need to be heard.
Correct.
But you're also going to empower a weary group of employers out there who don't know if it's okay to do business the way that they want to. Right? They
Yeah.
don't know if it's okay to do business the way that made this country a great country.
Yeah.
And they need to be encouraged and told, yes, that still matters. That thing in your gut still matters. When someone, shows up to an interview and they don't act like they care and they don't know anything about your business, and the only thing they want to talk about is how much you're going to pay them, guess what? That's still a bad sign. You're not crazy.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and that's not to say that job seekers don't have their own problems that they're
Sure.
facing in the market. They are. So we're trying to speak the truth both ways and help people that way. But yeah, I mean, we have to be less worried about the feelings of the least capable members of our society.
Yes, I totally agree.
We would do well to do that.
And not in such a way that like, oh, we discard those individuals, but we can empower them, but we can't you can't empower them while walking on eggshells.
That's right.
Because they need that motivation and that push. You just have to do it differently than with some people.
That's right. That's right. I mean, if I was sitting down for a beer with, a crazy, entitled family member,
Yeah.
it would be the same kind of talk. It'd be tough love. It'd be like, you know what you look like to the employers out there. This is what you look like. You know what you sound like. This is what you sound like. Are those things true? If not, you need to make a few changes. If they are true, you need to learn about the world a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So that rough edge of tough love out there, I mean, we all should be doing a little bit more of it.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that. So where have you guys been seeing the most reciprocation and follow up with your customers and your clients with your different marketing strategies?
Yeah. So we do business with all sizes of business now.
Mm-hmm.
We have two different brands. We have the Red Balloon brand, and then last year we acquired a military hiring company.
Okay.
And so we're taking our same ethic and applying it to companies that hire military personnel or our veterans. And that has been a lot of fun. It's opened the door to a lot of larger companies.
Very nice.
But I would say here's where we get a lot of traction. We get a lot of traction with companies that are still small enough for one bad hire to present a existential danger for them, but large enough where they have to employ all different kinds of people.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and we're out there, and some of these employment markets are constrained. So when those folks see what we're doing, and we have some really incredible competitive products, like our recruiting product is about a third of the price that you'd pay for a normal recruiter, because we're tech-enabled recruiting. So we're actually a tech company under the hood. But we do tech-enabled recruiting, and we still do interviews and stuff like that on behalf of employers. But so for smaller businesses, they see us. They see that we have the capability of taking kind of the first pass off their plate. We actually know the legally protected questions that we can ask and yet still get the truth about who someone is. They see that, and it's very attractive. So our most popular product is actually a recruiting service that's just an 8-week engagement. We go out and actively find people. We're going to find 20 or 30 candidates a week, but we don't just stop at just saying like, here's a resume, right? Because and I are, you can't judge us by our resume. I've been all over the place. Done all kinds of things. So we do more than just resumes. We move from the resume to an actual interview, and we do cultural interviews. We're asking probing questions. Usually we're trying to do it in a black ops kind of way. So you could talk to me and I'd ask my questions to get everything I need, and you have no idea, how it went.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
And we have
lots of psychological acrobats in there.
Yeah, that's right. We have a lot of you've met my wife, so we have a lot of very nice killers on our
Yeah.
team.
That's right.
You're going to walk away going, that was a great conversation, and they'll have everything they need. So
That's right. That's right. And she'll just be like, all right, definitely not that guy.
yeah, exactly. So
Nice.
that's really had traction. On the military side, we now work with pretty enormous companies that are actually trying to use military hiring to get back to meritocratic individuals. They
Mhm.
want to find people that are used to what are very bizarre concepts in today's workplace, like authority,
Yep. Chain
like,
of
oh, you can
command.
actually, yeah, exactly. Chain of command and things. And so that is going very well as well.
Good. Good. What would you say is your guys' bread and butter?
Bread and butter would be the recruiting. Yeah,
Yeah.
recruiting. We have
Okay.
software products. We have the military stuff. Right now, the recruiting is just, I mean, we're just directly solving the problem for you, right?
Yeah.
With that product. And that's just really attractive. So for instance, we've got a company right now that makes trying to make modular nuclear reactors, and they're very close.
Mm.
They just airlifted the first set out to Washington D.C. right out there in front of the Capitol building for not a live demonstration, but so
Sure.
that everyone could see it before they went off to Utah. But so those guys, they're hiring like crazy. We probably have done 30 positions for them in the last 3 months.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What would you kind of name as the spectrum of employers and companies that you guys kind of work with? Outside of the military stuff, the more everyday kind
Yeah.
of person.
Yeah. So we do a lot of work with construction companies,
Hmm.
which makes
Makes
sense.
sense. Yep.
We do a lot of work with kind of smaller white collar companies,
Okay.
because a lot of it correlates to skills that you can find people on the internet for. So we don't
Mm,
do a lot of work for like a new Chipotle is opening up in town and we need 20
sure.
warm bodies. Like we
Yeah.
don't do that because we're a national company. So we need to be able to use all kinds of different methods to go out and find people. We do stuff like that every once in a while. We've done some
Yeah.
really crazy roles
Yeah.
before. But we'll do all the way up to placing CEOs and C-suite individuals, and then the cost is very attractive on those
Hmm.
positions because
Hmm.
you're probably paying a lot if you're hiring those. But we're really industry agnostic because
Mm.
we are hiring for culture first,
Yeah.
right? So while we have a few industries that pop up all the time, software is another one, engineers are another one.
Okay.
Um, we have those that pop up frequently, but oh yeah, someone in the chat, Valor Atomics, very nice,
Yeah. Yeah.
very nice.
That's
Yeah,
EDG. He knows it. He knows his stuff.
yeah, there you go. Nice,
That's really cool. That's really
very
cool.
good. Yeah,
So how do you guys operate in house? How do you manifest the culture that you guys are trying to replicate in these different areas?
that's a fantastic question. So, I mean, there's a couple of things. Number one, you've met Andrew, so this won't surprise you at all.
Yeah.
But we maintain a culture of candor.
Hmm.
So if the company has a bad week, we say it actually had a bad week. If it has a
Sure.
good week, we say it had a good week. If there's a person attached to it being a good week, we will say this person made it a good week.
Love that.
Everyone, round of applause. And so that's number one. The second thing is having a strong culture where the best ideas win
Hmm.
and the best performance wins. That is really important because if I'm out there trying to make our company better, let's not say me because I'm on the leadership team, but let's just
Right.
say a normal recruiter on our team is trying to make things better. And they know I'm going to make it better. And then my boss is going to swoop in and take all the credit for the thing I made better. Or they know I made it better and we don't really care. And actually, certain people on our team are threatened by me making it better. We're not interested in being better.
Yeah.
If they know that, and all it takes is a few signals, right? They're going
Yep.
to shut down and not try to accomplish anything for your
That's true.
business, and your business is going to stagnate.
Yep.
So we have done all kinds of things to try to fight against that. So things like constantly calling out when people have good ideas, actually executing their good ideas, reminding everyone who had the good idea. I used to give out when I was managing the recruiting team, and I'm not anymore. But I used to. I have this little bull statue. We had a bull in a china shop award, and it was a statue of a bull with a broken china cup all strewn over it.
Nice.
And what we're trying to say is we actually want you to be that. We actually want you to question things. My ideas are not precious. So question things, try to come up with a better way. We might tell you it's dumb, that's a dumb idea.
Yeah. That's okay.
But that's okay. So I think that kind of culture is really important.
I agree. I absolutely agree. What do you see most companies as you guys are going through recruiting processes? You guys are, I'm sure, either actively or passively in some way auditing some of these businesses, these companies and everything like that. What do you see as one of the biggest pain points that people struggle with when hiring?
Yeah. For a lot of our customers, there's kind of a catch-22. Okay. And this is a catch-22 that's very common in hiring. But I think for smaller businesses, it's even more common. So I'm hiring because I have too much to do, right? I'm way overloaded. I go home stressed, and I think I need to hire to get to get this work off of my plate.
Right.
So I start the hiring process, and maybe I even engage Red Balloon. But I am so busy, I'm not really willing to pay the cost of paying careful attention to this hiring process.
Yep.
And so I shortchanged the hiring process. Now I have someone who is twice the work that I was doing before.
Right. Exactly.
Now, in addition to all the crap I had on my plate before,
Yep.
now I've got a bad employee to manage.
Yep. Now I have to do all that work and babysit.
Yes, exactly. So the message we're trying to constantly reinforce with people is this is at times hiring is a painful investment, but it's an investment that really, really will pay off if you give it the time of day.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Do you get a lot of pushback from employers and when you're trying to direct them in a certain method of doing this? Do you ever because I do some consulting, and a lot of times, even when I'm doing my photography, a lot of times you'll get people be like, "Oh, we'll do it this way." Well, you hired me to do the thing that either you don't want to or you don't know how to. Do you guys ever kind of face that?
We do. The luxury of being around for a while and your business growing more and more stable and more profitable is you can say, that's fine. Do whatever you want, but you paid me money. I'm happy to take your money. I'm not, I'm not happy to take your money if you're just going to fail, but you get the credibility after a while. I mean, we're running right now, 60, 70 positions at any one given time. And that's, picking up 30, 35 every month. And so, after a while, you just feel confident and hey, look, even if you're really good at it, we just have more reps, right?
Yeah.
We're just more tuned into how the market works right now, and the market constantly changes. And so that confidence gives you the ability to push back a bit and say, no, this is just not going to work. This is just not going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned you guys are super plugged into the market, of course. What are you guys seeing as recruiters that the market of employees is struggling with the most as they're trying to, break into employment?
Yeah, man, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. Um, let's just start with the topic of AI. So I
Yeah.
wrote a book last year about AI, what I think are good uses, bad uses. My main premise here is that almost all of us are living in a narrative about AI that has been crafted over the last 75 years.
Mm-hmm.
The Terminator narrative or
Yeah.
the the Tron Ares narrative, like
Yeah.
AI is going to save us and it's sexy and handsome,
Right.
or
Or it's gonna
something
eat
like
us
that.
and it's a woman.
Right? Yes, exactly. And 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 I think both of those narratives are actually completely false. I
Yeah.
think we're made in the image of God. Part of the problem is we don't know why we're special as a
Mm.
culture, and so it makes sense that we're struggling to say, "How am I different than this?" Output that's happening
Yeah.
on my screen.
Right. Yeah.
We've forgotten who God is. We've forgotten who people
Mm.
are. So it makes sense that we're struggling. Now,
Yep.
the way that translates into the labor market, it is absolutely true that right now, actually, let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
When I worked at my last job before Red Balloon at GE Healthcare,
Mhm.
there was a legal reluctance to fire people. One of the things
Yep.
that you lose when you are no longer a meritocratic workplace is you lose the ability to confidently fire people when they're not performing.
Yep.
So I had several times where I would go into someone's office, some VP's office, and say, "Why is this guy still working here?" Not being mean, just
Right.
like he didn't show up to the last 4 calls. I'm not sure I've ever even seen him here. What's going on?
Yeah.
So, so, so and then you have people in companies, large companies especially, that are just kind of biding their time. They've got some little niche skill that they do,
Yeah.
and nobody's really watching, and they're just kind of like min-maxing their time, right? They're not really thinking about anybody else but
Mhm.
themselves, and they're
Mhm.
putting in as little as possible.
Yep.
Those people are going to get crushed in this next season.
Okay.
If you are doing soulless work in your job right now, do not be surprised if soulless AI can come and steal
That's
your
right.
job,
That's right.
right? If
Yep.
you have no creativity, you're not making relationships, you're not trying to push
Mm.
things forward, you're not using your soul,
Yeah.
then don't be shocked when something that doesn't have a soul is going to do your job for you,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. That's
And
great that what
and
you said, not making relationships.
yes, right, right. If you're not doing the things that only you can do, in other words, right?
Yep. That's right.
Then what are you doing? And unfortunately, we're kind of in our own mess. It's our own fault that we've trained young people, especially, to think like this,
This is true.
to think that all workplaces are bad and greedy and terrible and boring and all of these things.
Yep.
Of course they're gonna think like that. But the net result of that is that a lot of them are going to lose their jobs,
That's
frankly.
right. That's right.
And that is happening right now, and it's a real bummer for a lot of people.
Hmm. Interesting. Very, very. What do you guys see in the like a typical turnover rate in some of the positions that you guys are placing specifically?
Well, our employers are all aiming for zero,
Right.
right?
Of course.
They want people to stay around forever.
Yeah.
We have seen though that it is a lot more common for younger people to basically be thinking in terms of 1.5 or 2 year stays at a company. And then I just kind
That's
of leap
wild.
into the next one and leap into the next one. Right. I
Yeah.
can't remember how old you are, but to me, I'm only 47 and that's just like crazy to me, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I'm 37 and well, I'll
Yeah.
be 37 this year.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me too. Like
Yeah.
I understand. I think I'm kind of in the middle there where I get it, but like in hindsight I understand, but to
Yeah.
position yourself like that from the beginning is
Hmm.
wild to me.
Yes.
If I'm going to be somewhere, I plan on being loyal for as
Yes.
long as I'm there. Now,
Yes.
things happen
Yes.
in
Correct.
18 months, in 27 months, in 7 years, something
Yeah.
might happen where an opportunity or the company closes down or somebody gets sick.
Yeah.
Something might happen and I'm going to have to prioritize, but to
Right.
plan my life in such a way that like I'm just not going to commit to anything ever is wild to
Right.
me.
Right. Well, and I've never had a job since I was, I've been working full time since I was about 15.
Mhm.
And I don't think I have had a job since I was, 22 where I feel like after a year, man, I nailed this. I've just solved everything.
Right. Yeah.
And so what's hard is you're not really training yourself to be a leader by doing that,
That's true.
because if you're taking on positions with increasing responsibility, a lot of times those problems take time to solve, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you really don't have any experience getting something to the finish line, that's a real net negative for your career.
Yeah. Yeah. And that becomes apparent after, 20 years of jumping
Right.
around careers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And then the last thing I'd say on that is employers still care. I mean, they are
Mhm.
desperate to hire people sometimes and they just look the other way. But if they had their druthers, they wouldn't look at someone's resume and see 18 months, 18 months, 18 months, 18
Right.
months, 18
Yeah.
months. It's still a red flag for them because
Mm.
because they're thinking I'm going to be next.
Yeah. No, exactly. Absolutely
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So what would be I'm looking for somebody to invest, 10 to 20 years into my business. I don't need somebody
Yeah.
that's going to be gone in 2.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
So you talk a lot about AI. What do you feel is some of the greatest benefits to people that do soulful work that really put their
Mhm.
passion in it? How can it help somebody like that excel in their position and in the workplace?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you feel, but I feel that the trajectory of digital clutter has been increasing in all of our jobs for the last, call it 30 years.
Uh-huh.
Where, at one point we introduced email. Okay, now I got to keep one eye on my email over here while I do my job.
Yep.
And then we have emails and chats. And now I got to keep, one eye over there. And now I've got to-do lists and project planners, and I've got, Teams meetings, remote meetings. I've got all these things going on. Um, and one of the things that that AI can do for you is to reduce some of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm going to get good at taking some of this clutter that I don't really add value to and I don't like, and I'm going to invent workflows and processes to deal with that. And some of that is if you're if you're even halfway technical, inventing your own just home rolled apps that do stuff for you.
Yeah.
I just put together an app for our company that is operates like a beehive. So that you have these little bees that go out and they're looking for news stories for us to talk about. And they're
Mm.
going to separate locations, and then they find one, they pick it up, and like a bee, they go to other outlets and see, are other people covering this, and then they come back to the hive and deliver the story to you. So just
Interesting.
stuff like that that's not on the market. It didn't take me a ton of time to do. It's
Right.
really uniquely for us. So those things are good. My main concept here, and I walk through this a lot in my book, is so in the book of Proverbs,
Mm.
there's a proverb: where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase comes from the ox.
Mhm.
So the principle there, what I talk about is this is a different technology. It's a lot more like an animal. It's an intelligence, right? So
Yeah.
it's going to make a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
But when I look in the scriptures, I don't think that should prevent us from using the tool. And you
Yeah.
think about how helpful an animal is. Sometimes it's helpful for reasons that have nothing to do that are very different from this phone, right? The phone is helpful, but it's kind of dumb in some ways.
Right.
If I have things that do have a little bit of intelligence where I can give them general directions and then they can go off and do things,
Yeah.
that is extremely helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. How would you advise someone to optimize their workflow with different AI products?
Yeah. So it depends on what you're doing.
Hmm.
For someone like yourself, putting together a show and then clipping the show, I think about a lot of these workflows, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing images for the show. One of the things you can do is take a dive into Claude Code. I don't know if you've done that before.
I have not, but recently just learned about Claude, so
Yeah.
I'm finding it very interesting.
So the Claude Code product, a little bit of a learning curve if you've never done any coding before,
Hmm.
but that is probably, for my money, the one of the best apps out there right now
Yeah.
because it is pretty trivial to spin up simple apps. So, for instance, when we finish this video or this interview, next week I will probably download the video.
Hmm.
I have a set of scripts that chop it into all a bunch of 60-second segments.
Yep.
It analyzes like what are the talking points that happen in this video, chops it up, adds subtitles. Now there's like Descript and there's lots of things that can do this.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd rather just have it up and automatically,
Hmm.
and then give me one-liners so I can just go in and see and pull something and put it on the on social media. So it's just stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we use in our marketing, we use Midjourney a ton because we like to make fun of types.
Yep.
And we don't necessarily want to go and hire an actor, to
Yeah.
come in and
Right.
pose for that type.
So
And
AI
so,
is great.
yeah. So we use Midjourney, Nano Banana, Magnific, like a bunch of tools that help us
Hmm.
get just the perfect image for the thing that we're trying to say. And so that's how you see us, we've got the image of like the skinny Mohawk lady who's telling everybody
Gotcha.
how
Okay.
terrible they are. Well, obviously it's not a real lady. We just, have something in mind and then we go out and make it.
Yeah, yeah. AI is an incredibly powerful tool
Yeah.
for making assets like that, especially in like for my gaming content. I use AI to make assets all the time, even some of my merch. Because
Yeah.
it's gotten to a point where instead of me having to learn how to do graphic design to a
Right.
point where I can get the idea that's in my head onto paper, now I can just describe it
Yeah.
and kind of finagle it this way and that way, and even find inspiration for what I want to do on paper.
Right. Right. And just looking at the comments here, I don't think that again, I would come back and say, I don't think that replaces expertise at all.
Yeah.
I think that replaces um, people that were not very serious about their craft in the first place,
Yeah,
right?
I really believe that too, that if it's gonna do the same thing that social media did, it's gonna expose us
Yeah.
as as just half pregnant in whatever it is that we're doing, you know?
Right, right.
It's
Right.
gonna show that, like, oh, you think AI is so stupid and yet it can outperform you.
Yeah,
So
right,
maybe AI isn't what's the problem.
right, right. And so I think in addition to that, getting back to the labor market,
Mhm.
So there are going to be layoffs because of AI. I just have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But I think the value of expertise, the value of people who know what they're talking about, the value of people who can come and unclog systems when AI clogs them, because it will.
It will.
The value of things like writing, the value of conversations like the one we're having right now, that's going to go up because you
agree.
can't really fake that, right? You can't fake expertise. You can't fake deep domain knowledge. You can't fake wisdom, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Coincidentally, these are all things that God calls us in his word to be.
That's right.
So
How
I
ironic.
think, and if we can have more time to focus on growing in
Yeah.
those things, I mean, so much the better from
Yeah.
my perspective.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like the self-checkout, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to unemploy cashiers, but well, maybe they should step up and
Right.
be more than a cashier.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I think one
absolutely.
of the best things fast food places can do is you either need to go like higher paid Chick-fil-A, the
Yeah,
nicest, most efficient people that I've ever met in my life,
right.
or just give me a little terminal kiosk, man.
Please,
Because my
please.
days of going into, and I barely go to fast food restaurants, but my days of going into a fast food restaurant and tolerating,
Right.
someone's
For a
crappy
mediocre
attitude, and
cheeseburger.
yeah, exactly. Those
No,
days
thank you.
are over. Again, we could get a robot probably to do better. So
Absolutely. And
yeah,
faster, higher quality, and it would probably, and the ice cream machine would probably work all the time.
yes, right.
Yep, yep, absolutely.
Okay, so am I allowed to talk about the comments? Because I would love to.
100%. Yeah, please address
Awesome,
them.
awesome. Okay,
It's all
here's
live.
one. AI will only stifle our creativity and intellect. You can already see it happening. I think that is true. I would not say only stifle.
Yeah.
I actually find, because I'm able to prototype things really, really quick,
Hmm.
like that app that I was just talking about before, the Bumblebee Beehive
Yeah.
app. So I find that there is a trade off, but my creativity isn't stifled. But it is absolutely true that for some people that's going to happen.
I
That for
agree.
some people that didn't want to work hard in the first place, or
Yeah.
didn't want to be creative in the first place, or didn't want to think of a business strategy in the first place, this is their ticket out, right? They were
Yep.
doing minimal work already, and then this is their ticket out. Again, that's not going to work out well for them, though.
Not in the long run, for sure. It's not sustainable, it's not infinitely scalable, and because the world is so dynamic, it's not going to stand for very long, because you're working with these, like I said, half pregnant, soulless
Right,
products. You're not
right.
genuinely bringing value. You're doing the
That's right.
same thing in a different way.
Yep.
And I think ultimately what that mentality would boil down to is back home to the parents. If I raised somebody that
Yes.
is intelligent enough to subvert the system and use that to be lazy, that's my fault for teaching
Yes.
them that way.
Yes.
And that's the only way you'll ever break that cycle.
Now we're really getting serious. Yes. Agreed.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, it's always back to the parents, man. Always back to the parents. It's our
That's
job.
right.
So what is as we're wrapping up here, what is the biggest message that you guys at Red Balloon like to convey to the employers as they're coming in? They've decided to hire you, and so you're like, all right, so this is what it is. And
Hmm.
then, before we work together, this is what you need to know. What is that for you guys?
Don't underestimate the impact of a hire. And I mean that both positively and negatively.
Mm,
So you can underestimate, let's start with the negative. If you do not give hiring the proper time and attention, if you do not treat it like the serious thing that it is, we have a front row seat to hundreds of stories where people have come in and nearly tanked or completely destroyed businesses. And you think about how hard most businesses are to create in the first place. And that's just the shame, right?
Yep.
And it doesn't really happen because someone decided to be lazy. It happens because they're just not prioritizing it the way that it should be.
Yeah.
So that's the negative side. On the positive side, don't underestimate the impact that hiring an absolute rock star will have on your company. And so with that, don't be afraid to open up the search a little well, maybe someone's asking for 1.5 times the salary that I feel like I can afford. But if they're going to bring me 3 times the ROI that I thought I was going to have, then maybe I should think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe someone's asking under what I thought, but this is a hungry person in a tough stage of life, and they're going to come in and work their tail off. Maybe I should be open to that. And so a lot of times what we see people do is just underestimate the value that a real creative, hardworking human can bring to their business, and kind of shortchange the hiring process. And we want to get them out of that, even though we help, right? I mean, we work our tails off, and we have all kinds of tools at our disposal.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't mean that you can hire on autopilot, right? You still have to look at the 8 people that we give to you and say, out of these, I think number 3 is the right one.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Aaron, I won't take up too much more of your time. I would love for you to pitch the brand, but also pitch your book before
thank
you head out, and just let everybody know where they can find you and where they can find some help with Red Balloon if they need some hiring help.
Yeah. So let's start redballoon.work. That's where you go if you need help hiring. Our recruiting product is great. We also have software products that help you do the things that we said that I was talking about before. My book is called Wild and Glorious, Artificial Intelligence and the Future of Christendom. And you can find that on Amazon.com. And in the book, I walk through, on the negative side, I walk through where the narrative that we're currently living in came from. And on the positive side, I walk through the things that AI can and can't do and what you should be doing in this time.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you taking the time with us today.
Yeah, you bet. Great to be here.
All right,
See you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, that is going to be the show for today. So glad that Aaron came in and took the time with us. Very, very grateful for him. Man, it was absolutely phenomenal to catch up with him. Cool to see his new studio setup and all of the fun things that they are doing over at redballoon.work. Guys, go pick up his book. I will put it in the comment section below. I was going to put it in the chat, but I didn't get it pulled up in time, but I will put it in the comment section and in the description. So guys, if you're watching this on recording afterwards, find it in the description and in the comment section. It's clickable in the description, but not in the comments. So I'll put it in both places. I really appreciate every single one of you guys coming out. Channel 2, EDG, thank you so much for the gifted subs today. RMG, thank you for hanging out. Whoever that was that we kicked out, thank you for being here and being a total piece of shit. 1A and Mrs. Pudge also, thank you guys so much, so much for being here. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time on whenever it is that we stream. Love you. Bye.
it's done. Right above that. Raid. Oh, I see. Thanks. Yo, Taco Bella. How you doing? Appreciate that lurk. Thank you again, man, for that raid. Very much appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. We're sitting here. We're playing Split Fiction. My camera is on the left, but I'm on the right side. My character